So I came up there and I met Stu, and Stu took a liking to me, and that's how I wound up there. I left there. I was living in Australia at the time with my girlfriend, and she was driving me crazy. So Stu called me up one day and he says, "Hey, you big salty bastard, when you coming back up?" I said, "Send me a ticket." And that's how I wound up meeting my wife, which is another story. And then that's how I wound up in Calgary.
What are your memories of Stu Hart? Any good stories? Stu?
Yeah, many. I love Stu. He was quite the character. He was something else. They threw the mold away when they made that guy. He was something. He was unbelievable.
What were your initial impressions of the Hart family?
Well, you talk about dysfunctional. If you open up the dictionary and you look for the meaning of dysfunctional family, there are pictures there. You know, it's a shame because Stu was a great guy. I didn't know Helen that well because she used to never interact with the wrestlers. But Stu was quite the guy, and he had a family that just, totally dysfunctional. They fought with each other. You saw after Owen passed away, they were just, at each other like, crazy. It was unbelievable.
What are some of your early memories of your matches with Bret?
Bret was always a good technician. Even my later matches with him, he was always a good wrestler, a good technician. But two things that I never liked about Bret was, one is he started believing his own BS. And two is he never changed expressions. Like I said earlier, he always looked the same. And to me, you saw Bret Hart. If you saw Bret Hart in one match, you saw Bret Hart. It never changed,
The both of you pretty much, we did like 3 interviews with Bret, and somehow he always manages to bring up your name and stuff like that. And he talks about some of your early matches that you wouldn't sell for him and stuff like that.
It wasn't that. It was that he would do stuff that didn't make sense. Because I used to tell guys, look, we go out there because my character was, I was supposed to be a bad person, but it had to be believable. You had to do stuff. It was an illusion, but you had to make it look realistic where people can believe what was going on, which is not done today, And I tell them, you can't be doing something that just people are going to go, oh, come on. You can't miss me by 10 miles with a drop kick and expect me to take a bump. That's not going to work. You kick me, you hit me with your feet, I'm going to take the bump. But he'd do stuff like this, and then he'd get mad, he'd mope around and poke around. I said, man, I can't take a bump for you if you don't make a connection. And I used to tell Dynamite this. I said, once we go out on the floor, you lay those chops and those punches in because the people are sitting right 2 feet from us. You miss me, I'm not selling.
Right.
Okay? That was no problem. Yeah.
What are some of your early memories of the ladder matches you had with Bret?
Well, actually, from what I've been told, and I guess it's true, that we were the first two that ever had these matches. We invented the ladder match. And we had some good matches there. We had one, I remember in Regina, we had one where they had the money, they had this bag of money up on this rope, and we were supposed to go up and grab it. So the finish was that he had me down on the floor, he put the ladder up, and as he stepped up in the ladder, I had a girl stashed out in the audience. She ran up, pushed the ladder over. He took a big bump, fell into the first or second row. I got into the ring, put the ladder up, and grabbed the money, and the people were stunned. They were like, they couldn't believe what they saw. And then, of course, after that, they went crazy. They booed and threw stuff and went bananas. But as far as I know, they claim that we had the first ladder matches.
Dynamite tells a story, I think, in his book about the altercation between you and Bret. Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, he gave me, he talked about how he was in the business for 26 years and he never hurt anybody. Well, I said, I guess those 2 concussions he gave me didn't count because he gave me 2 concussions. Okay, both times he hit me over the head. I always had a rule, never give the baby face the gimmick because they'll kill you every time,
Right.
So both times he had a chair, he crashed me over the head, and I had 2 concussions from there. So the third time, we were working in Regina again, and that used to be one of our better houses. The place was always sold out. And I had Wakamatsu, who was actually my manager, but couldn't work really. We said, well, they had Wakamatsu teamed up with me and against Bret and Dynamite Kid. And I told Bret the finish was they were going to use the kendo stick, right? I was supposed to go and pin Dynamite. He'd come in and save him by hitting me. I said, you make sure you hit me across the shoulders. Do not hit me in the head. I said, because you gave me 2 concussions already, do not hit me in the head. And I could see he was all ticked off. And in this business, you tell somebody, okay, I got an injury, you stay away from it. They're supposed to do it, right? So what does he do? He gets in the ring and he hits me right in the back of the head. I mean, this was deliberate, And I just shot up. It was like somebody stuck fire up under me, and I just shot up and I grabbed him, threw him down, and I had him by the choke and had him by the throat, and I was actually choking him. And I know everybody could hear it in the audience. I said, "You fucking asshole! I told you not to hit me in the head, you know." And I'm choking him, and he's turning all red. So then I actually let him go. He rolled out the ring, and I grabbed the kendo stick and rolled out, and I hit him from behind, and he turned around, and I swung it like a baseball bat and cracked him right between the nose. Almost knocked him cold, you know. And then I threw it down. I went back to the locker room, and I was going to get him. I said, "This is it. He's going to pay tonight." And he took off. He knew he had somebody. He sent somebody in to get his bag, and I never saw him for about 2 or 3 days.
Did you guys ever try to squash your heat?
Not really. No, we got along in the WWF, you know, because I had to work with him after the WrestleMania 4. But you know, pretty much I knew keep an eye on this guy because he'll try anything. You know?
Now, after the series with Dynamite, you were married again to Bret. Were things any different this time around?
It was always the same. They put me with him, and they tried to figure, okay, he made a lot of money with Dynamite. Let's put him with Bret. But Bret was just difficult to deal with. You know, I'm Bret Hart. You know, I should go over every night, which I don't care. Fine, you want to go over. But if we do a program and I do something to you, you got to sell it. You know, you just can't be going out. Because they had me do a thing where I was supposed to stab him in the eye with a fork. So he was supposed to walk around with a patch on his eye. And we're going up to Edmonton. And a lot of people used to come from Edmonton because we taped on Fridays. So they would come to Edmonton, from Edmonton, to go to Calgary, watch the matches there, and then we'd in Edmonton the next day, and they'd go back there. And they saw me stab him with this fork, right? And he's bleeding and everything. And they went, "Oh, I think he lost his eye." And they, you know. And the next thing, my wife is driving, and he's driving in a car. He's got this girl with him, and he passed us by. And my wife said, "That was Bret, and he don't have the patch on his eye, you know?" Okay. So now, of course, he walks in the ring. He don't have the patch. So well, half the people, they were down the night before, and they saw it, right? And he says to me, and I go to him, "Well, what are you doing? We're wasting our time doing that." I said, "We had a good thing going. Oh, let's do it again tonight." I said, "I don't want to do it, you know, because this is baloney. You got to follow through with these. You just can't have it. Oh, let's do it again tonight." Okay, so we did it again. Actually, the RCMP came in the locker room. They were going to arrest me. And I said, "Is Bret pressing charges?" And they said, "You're under arrest for you mutilated Bret." These guys were like marks, you know. Right. They were freaking out, you know. And we're gonna lock you up. And I said, "Wait a minute, hold on." I said, "Is Bret pressing charges?" They go, "Nope." I said, "Get the hell out the locker room." So we're gladiators. So this locker room is off limits. So you got to get out. And I kicked them out.
Did Stu ever protect Bret, or did Bret have a lot of the power at that time?
Well, Bret had Bruce with him, who had the power because he was Mommy's favorite.
Bret was.
No,
Bruce was.
And so Bruce would always look out for Bret. Mm-hmm. So at that time, because Stu, a lot of stuff that was going on with Bruce, Stu didn't like it. And he told me, he said one day, actually, when I was coming back to go for the WWF, I went up to thank him and everything, and thank him for treating me and taking care of me well and all. And he comes out on the porch with me, and he says, "Yeah, I'd like to talk to you." And I says, "Yeah." He says, he's looking around to see if his wife was listening. He says, "I wish somebody would take that little piss asshole," that's what they call him, Bruce Hart, "off to their territory and maybe put him in the first match every night and just beat the crap out of him." And then he says, after they beat the crap out of him, just go and pee on him every night. You know? And I'm laughing right up. Still, yeah, that little bastard. Because he knew that he ruined his territory. He ruined his company. Yeah.
What do you remember of the first WrestleMania and the Battle Royal that you were involved in?
At the Battle Royal, I thought it was a big event, the way they did it. I liked the way they put it together and everything, the show, you know. And, you know, they decided that was to soothe me over after lying to me about bringing me in. Okay, let's put him over in the Battle Royal. Maybe that'll keep him quiet for a while. You know? Yeah.
Now, with your matches with Bret, were there any problems with you guys at all? Or you guys...
No, we went out there, we did our work, we did our job, you know.
How about Jim Neidhart? Good matches when you were working with Jim?
Jim was Jim.
Right.
You tried to work towards his talent, you know. But Jim was Jim. He was always the same.
It was pretty ironic that you were programmed with at first was Bret. Did you guys bury the heat?
Not really. We just we went and did our job. He did his job. I did mine. You know, I pretty much kept an eye on him though, because I said anytime he can pull something, and if he does, he's gonna wind up. He's gonna be sorry for it. Huh. But I think he knew that. He realized that you know, he was going to have trouble with me. So he figured just better go with the brother, and that was it.